Hey, welcome to church. Can you turn to someone around you and tell them it's so good to have you here today. So excited that you're here. Another incredible Sunday at church. If this is your first time here, we really hope that you feel at home. For the past few weeks, we have been on a series called Intentional Living. Can you say intentional living with me? Intentional living. That's what we've been on for the past weeks. And this Sunday is actually the last Sunday that we're talking about intentional living. Someone say, it's last Sunday. I'm going to be bugging you about being intentional in your life, spiritually, emotionally, in every single area of your life. This is the last Sunday. Kind of. I have to admit something. The next series kind of goes hand in hand with this. And this is why, because I believe it's so important for us to really break through some things that we need to break through. I believe there's a whole lot of things that we need to be intentional in or with. And if we're honest today, we've been on this journey of intentional living for the past weeks since August started. And I know that there's areas that we're kind of intentional, but we're honest, like maybe the first week you were like, I'm going to eat a salad once a week, like, I don't know, whatever your thing has been. I know you, and you were intentional some, but not really, So I want to keep on pushing you a little bit further into being intentional. So next week we start a brand new series, and it's called, Are Your Habits Making You or Breaking You? So it's within the same line here, but I believe in order for us to live the fullness of what God has planned and designed for you and me, we need to be intentional. Come on, say intentional with me. I believe you have to be intentional if you want to experience the fullness of what God has for you. So for the past couple of weeks, I shared that to be intentional, you need to have faith. Come on, if you are going to be intentional in your life about certain things, it's going to require faith. You need to have faith to be intentional in every area of your life. Last week, we talked that to be intentional, you need courage. Come on, can someone say courage? Courage, you need to be courageous to make some of the crazy, bold decisions that you need to make. Come on, it takes a whole lot of courage to order a salad instead of some fries and burgers. Like, you need to find some courage within you. You need some courage to be intentional in your mental health, in the way you think about things. You need some courage to be intentional in your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual life. You need courage to be married. You need courage for finances. You need courage at your job, at work, at school. You need courage. Come on, someone say courage. You need courage to be in a relationship with God. You need courage to be generous. You need courage to serve. You need courage to love. That was last week. Courage. Okay, I'll stop it right here because I can go on again on courage. So this week, as we close the series, I was really praying, how can I convince you, right? How can I inspire you or challenge you to literally be intentional in your life? Because again, I know that we are and we kind of are, but it's hard to make it a consistent thing in our lives. So I was praying, we're going to be talking today about intentional living requires you to step out. Requires you to step out. It requires you to step out of your comfort zone. Well, I believe that everyone here in this room, everyone, come on, take a look around. Take a look to the person right next to you. And as you see that person, I believe that for all of us, there is a better version of ourselves. Like, there's a better you. You're awesome. I'm not saying that you're not great, okay? You're awesome. You are incredible. You showered today. I can smell it, or if not, you just put some perfume on. I don't know, right? But you look awesome. You're incredible. You're loving. You're a hard worker. You have a lot of great qualities, but yet within all that awesomeness that surrounds you, I still believe that there's more to you. Come on, do you believe that about yourself? That there's more to you. Like you are barely starting. It doesn't matter how old you are. I truly believe that there's more for you. There's a better version of yourself. Like there is a Sergio 2.0. Like there is an update for you. You know, every single time that I'm on my computer or on my phone, you see that little pop-up like, there's a new update for you. I hate those, I have to say, because it changes everything. I kind of know how to work my phone, and I know where everything's at and how everything looks. And when an update is there, it changes everything. So I kind of hate it. But whenever I do that update, at the end of the day, it is better. Come on, there is an update for you. And I'm not talking about, plastic surgery, okay? There's an update on your heart, mind, soul. There is an update that God has for you in your character, in who you are. Come on, there is a better version of yourself. But it requires for you to step outside of your comfort zone. As we start today this message, can I ask you to help me preach a little bit? Can I ask you to do this? Come on, help me preach. Preach to your neighbor something, okay? Tell your neighbor, I know you're comfortable. Come on, just tell them. Help me out here a little bit. You're comfortable. I know you have your routines. Come on, help me out. I know you have your routines. I know you have your patterns. I know you have a certain way of doing things. Come on, tell them. I know you have a certain way of doing things. I know you have certain ways. I know you're stubborn and set on different things. Come on, help me out. Help me out, preach. Come on. I know you are analytical, and I know you're a control freak. Come on, help me. I know you're a control freak. I know you have certain things that you do a certain way, but come on, tell them, can I challenge you? Tell them, can I challenge you to step outside? You're getting quiet on me. Come on, tell them, step outside. Step outside of your comfort zone. Take a step outside of your comfort zone. Now, this is the thing, right? There is a tension that happens on the inside of us between the new us and the old us. There is a tension that happens when we try to change. There is a tension between the you right now and your 2.0. There is a tension between what God has for you, the fullness of what God has for you, the promises that God has for you, the blessings that God has for you, the things that you need to let go of. There is a tension between that and you right now. And I believe that tension is our comfort zone. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, this means that anyone, can you say with me, anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun. A new life has begun. I love this verse because it's telling us that anyone, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how young, how old, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter anything. Anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. Just by belonging to Christ, you have become a new person. Now, so many times we leave this verse only for whenever we encounter God for the first time, years ago. Oh, you were really messed up and some crazy stuff were happening in your life and you're like, God, if you're real, do something. Like, where are you at? You started like doing the God thing and then you're like all churchy now, And we leave this beautiful promise just for back then. I love that God promises this for us every single day. Come on, can I remind you today that there's new mercies for you today? Can I remind you that you don't have to carry the guilt, you don't have to carry the shame, you don't have to carry anything into the new that God has for you. God forgets of our sins as far as east is from the west. He literally comes and washes you as white as snow. Like God has new for you. I'm obsessed with this from God. Like if you've known me for a while, like I am madly obsessed with this because I love new things. I love new everything. And in God, what a beautiful opportunity that we get to be a new person. That I don't need to be defined by anything old. Anything. Whatever yesterday came to you, that's from yesterday. You have a brand opportunity today. But the reality is that a battle happens between the old and the new. There's a battle that happens between old and new. God gives you new mercies, new grace, new love, new opportunity today. And then the fight and the battle is like, you want to bring some of that old, you know? You want to be like hipster and be vintage and stuff, you know? It's like, God's wanting to give you new, and you keep on bringing old. Old habits, old hurts, old anger, old sin, old habits, old addictions, old mindsets. And God's like, don't you see it? I'm trying to do a new thing in you, but it requires you to step outside of your comfort zone. I believe this is not about you stepping into the fight and trying to fight those old habits. What I want to encourage you today is that you completely have to step out into a new dimension. You have to step out into a new mindset. Don't fight with the new mindset. Like, click restore. I just recently got a new phone, so that's why I'm on like softwares and, you know, like restore, erase all contacts and settings on your iPhone, and like there's nothing else left. Wouldn't it be beautiful that we can do that with our lives? Just click a button and just, whew. And I believe in God we have that opportunity. It's not a button, but it is intentionality on the inside of you of saying, whatever my comfort zone is, I'm just going to step out. I can't continue to bring these things of old into the new. I can't, come on. Doesn't matter how old you are. You can't afford it anymore. It's been too heavy. Can I get a good amen? It's been too heavy. It takes a lot, man. It takes a lot off you. Can I encourage you today to step outside of your comfort zone? You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you can't have both. You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you can't have both. I mean, your comfort zone, it is the enemy of the new you. Your comfort zone, it is the thing that's going to keep you to experiencing the fullness that God has for you. Your comfort zone, it is that chain that tries to keep you bound to the old. It is the chain that's trying to stop you, to further yourself, to have great mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, relationships, friendships, like everything. Come on, I'm after your comfort zone today. I'm after your comfort zone because we all have one. Your comfort zone is really comfortable. And because it is really comfortable, it's really hard to get rid of it. It's really hard to step outside into a brand new, unknown thing because your comfort zone is really well known to you. You have a deep relationship with your comfort zone. It requires a lot for you to say, I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. And that's what I want to challenge you today. You know, our comfort zones, they make us weird at the end of the day. They make us do weird things. You know, whenever Beatrice and I first started talking, we were friends. It was really comfortable, you know, because for the most part, our friendship was long distance. You know, like we were always in different cities throughout, you know, our singleness and you know, just countries, and just we would catch up here and there. Messenger was our best friend, you know, through that, and texting, and it was really comfortable. For me, it was like bomb, you know, because I was doing my thing, my life, and then just like, hey, what's up, how are you? We would catch up, and for many years, we had this friendship long distance, and it was like awesome. I didn't break a sweat once, like, oh, should I text? And like, we were friends, you know, and we would just text, catch up with each other, every now and then, we had this friendship for 5 years, long distance, and it was just a friendship. We didn't push any, it was just, we're friends, and it was awesome. It was comfortable. We were always in different cities until one summer that we were both in the same city. And that summer, I have to, when I found out that she was coming to El Paso, I was like, oh God, man. Because I've been talking to this friend for years now, and we're finally in the same city, both of us. I'm going to have to, ask her out or something. You know what I'm saying? What kind of friend would I be if for many years we've been friends, we're always on different cities, moving around, missions, and all these different stuff. Finally, we're in the same city, and we can kind of catch up face to face. And I was comfortable until I had to face her face to face. My goodness, man, I was so nervous. I was so nervous because it was completely outside of my comfort zone. For 5 years, I was single. Someone say, what? Some of you need some of that in your life, okay? Some of you are like, oh, you were nervous asking her out? Dude, I do it all the time. Yeah, you need to switch that up, okay? That's another series, okay? It's coming soon. It's nervous, man. It's nervous, freaking out. I couldn't, how am I going to tell her? And it was my comfort zone. And just to be quite honest, I couldn't truly break free of my comfort zone. So what I ended up doing was just weird because our comfort zone make us do weird things. So I ended up doing what any person that loves to be inside their comfort zone, you're kind of passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we were texting, same city, everything now. Hey, we should catch up one of these days. Yeah, we should. That's it. I wouldn't say anything else, It's just comfort zone keeps you bound, and you try to have security and have everything under control, and you just are weird, and I'll expand more to hit some of your toes, okay? But for a couple of weeks, every other day we talk, hey, we should catch up. Yeah. Weeks, day after day, we should catch up. We should grab some coffee sometime. Comfort zone, and I couldn't just say, hey, when are you available this day? Let's go. Until finally, what any strong, courageous man would do, she called me out. She straight up called me out. She was like, so, are you gonna put a date? You just keep on saying, we should, when? When? Come on, can someone say, all right, Beatrice, thank you for your courage, She helped me out, but if I'm honest, I felt called out bad, man. I just felt weak, felt like no game. Some of you are like, you have no game. You need to have less game, okay? Don't judge me. You're DMing everyone in another series, Sergio, another series. Okay. You're too comfortable. Okay, but on the other end, okay, I'll just stop there. Okay, felt called out. I felt ashamed. I felt like, man, why couldn't I just say, let's grab coffee this day, this time? Are you, impossible. It was my comfort zone. And our comfort zones make us do really weird things. Story goes on, married this incredible woman of God, and my life has been beautiful and great because of her. But I have to realize something, that our comfort zone can keep us from great things. Our comfort zone can keep us from amazing things. She had to step outside of her comfort zone to say, bro, what's up, man? When? That was uncomfortable for her. But if she would have stepped out, come on, this wouldn't have happened, Same goes both ways. Same goes both ways. But your comfort zone can keep you from great things. Your comfort zone can keep you from the blessings and the promises and the vision and the calling and the purpose that God has for you, not only in your circumstances, but in your character, in who you are. If you stay in your comfort zone, you will never leave or surpass your current reality. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're never going to leave your current reality. And I'm not saying right now, don't get me wrong, go and ask everyone out, go and, I've been saving a lot, go and spend everything out. Like, no. I'm talking about the things that are hard for you, that you know they're a struggle, that you know you need to break free, that you know they're keeping you from experiencing the best that God has for you. So what areas in your life are comfortable that are keeping you from best? What areas in your life are keeping you to experience the best mental health that you've ever had, the best emotional health that you've ever had, the best physical health that you've ever had, the best spiritual health that you ever had? Come on, if you stay in your comfort zone, you will never become who God wants for you to be. Come on, can I encourage you today to take a bold, crazy, weird step of faith and saying, God, take me outside of my comfort zone. Like, can you be bold enough today to at some point just say, God, I pray that you help me push past my comfort zone. And as you do that prayer, I just have to give you a heads up. He will put some things in your life that are uncomfortable. Things are going to start to shift. Things are going to start to move. And as hard as that may be, it's going to be good for you. Come on, I dare you today to ask God, take me outside of my comfort zone. I want to read a story in Matthew 14. In one of my favorite stories that I believe it best illustrates this concept of stepping out into something uncomfortable. So Jesus here is doing some miracles and he's doing his thing, and then he tells his disciples, hey, go until on the other side of the lake. Like, he just sent them out. He needed some alone time. He went and spent some time by himself with God, just praying. And as he was doing it, this is where we read this in Matthew 14, verse 24. And it says, meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away. Jesus says, go, and then the disciples are going, and his disciples were on this boat on the sea. They were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified in fear. They cried out, it's a ghost. But Jesus spoke to them at once. Don't be afraid. He said, take courage. I am here. Then Peter called to him, Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water. Yes, Jesus said, come. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water towards Jesus. But when he saw the strong winds and waves, he was terrified and began to sing, save me, Lord, he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. You have so little faith, Jesus said. Why did you doubt me? Then he climbed back in the boat. The wind stopped. Then the disciples worshiped him. You really are the Son of God, they exclaimed. This is one of the best illustrations, in my opinion, about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Like, if you are on a boat and you are in a sea, a lake, a body of water, what is more comfortable than a boat, man? Like, if I'm on the sea, I want to be on a boat. If there's a place that is comfortable, it is a boat. And today I want to challenge not only the bad comfort zones, but there's some even natural things that are comfort zone to us that we need to step out if we want to experience the greatness and fullness that God has for us. A boat is not something terrible. A boat is safe. A boat is a great comfort zone to have while you're on a boat, especially if there's a storm happening. And just in this illustration, I just want to say there's some things in your life today that are not necessarily bad, but are they good? Or they're not necessarily bad, but if you want to experience something greater, something extraordinary, you're going to have to step out into the extraordinary. You're going to have to take some steps that you have never taken before. Come on, there's some obvious things that we need to step out of. We need to step out of laziness. Come on, don't start elbowing people around you, okay? We need to step out of procrastination. We need to step out of bad habits and all of these different things, but what is at the root level that you need to step out of? What is it that you need to step out of? Our comfort zone is that zone that we create that makes us feel secure and comfortable. It is that area that makes us seem that we are in control, that help us to avoid certain fears in life. It is our little safe haven. And what I want you to realize today, okay, it's like, what is it? What is it at the root level that I need to break free from? So can we do a little exercise to just kind of really see, okay, what is one thing that I have at the root level that I need to break free? Come on, everyone here, close your eyes. Let's do a little exercise. Think of something that you intentionally avoid doing. What is that one thing that you avoid doing? Maybe it's meeting new people. Maybe it's budgeting. Maybe it's working, or maybe it's confrontation. Maybe it's forgiveness, commitment, being honest. Come on, what is that something that you intentionally avoid doing? And just think about, what do you do to organize your life to avoid doing it? Come on, whatever it is, that thing. You organize your life to avoid doing these hard things. Come on, can we open up our eyes? Imagine that every single time that you're going to confront that thing, you are in the realm of your comfort zone. It takes a lot of work to avoid it. It takes a lot from you to literally avoid that thing, that it's your comfort zone, that it makes you feel that you have security, that you have control. Meeting new people, you're an introvert, and you, because of your comfort zone, you kind of hide yourself. Maybe you're fearful, right, about hurt that you have experienced in the past. Someone betrayed you, and you just keep everyone outside now. Come on, whatever that is for you. Whatever that is for you. It comes at a high price. Whatever you're avoiding, it comes at a really high price. And the price you're paying is simply not experiencing the best and the fullness that God has for you in life. Like if you're shy and you avoid people, you lose the possibility of new friendships, new community. Come on, at SOMOS, we believe that we're always on the lookout for our new best friend. You can really lose the sense of community. Come on, connect groups are about to happen, and that's all about meeting new people and learning about God, talking to one another. And if you miss out because of uncomfortability, you're going to miss out something great that God has for you. If you feel lonely or you struggle with loneliness, well, guess what? You need to step outside of your comfort zone and do some things that you've never done before. Like whenever church ends, instead of running out like if there was fire in this building, you actually stick around in an awkward, uncomfortable place and say, who am I going to shake someone's hand? Who can I say hi to? Like, you know? Because you struggle with loneliness. You hate the loneliness that you constantly feel on your everyday life. That no one texted you, that no one checks up on you. Well, guess what? It takes two. Can you step outside of your comfort zone and call some people? Catch up with some people? Can I push you a step further and not only rely on your comfortable friends? Get some godly people in your life. They're the weirdest. We're weird, man, but we're good for you. We're going to always give you not what you want to hear, but we're going to give you wise advice. Hopefully always, right? Come on, if you are a creative person and you can't tolerate criticism, how can you experience to grow in your gift, to grow in your talents, to grow in your abilities? Come on, if you're an entrepreneur, it's the same thing. If you can't be open to some input and advice, you're always going to stay in the realm of you've always been. Come on, you have to step out. If you're a leader at any kind and you can't confront situations, you can't set boundaries or limits at home, at family, friendships, how are you going to experience the best that God has for you? If you want a healthy marriage, single people, if you want a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship, but you keep dating immature people that look so cute, but don't have an ounce of wisdom, how do you expect to find what God has for you? If you're married and you want your relationship, your marriage to be successful and healthy, but we always stay in our comfort zone of anger, unforgiveness, bitterness, fights, and we don't seek to break some things outside of our comfort zone. How are we going to accomplish this? Come on, we all want change, but we want to keep on doing the same things. And the same things done over and over again, expecting change. It's insanity. It's insanity if we do the same thing over and over again, expecting change, and it doesn't change. It is insanity. You have to step outside of your comfort zone to discover some new things in life. You know, in this story, there's 12 disciples, and they're in this boat, and everyone is clinging for dear life. The boat gives them a sense of security. The boat gives them a place of comfort. And I want for you to see yourself in this boat, and whatever your boat represents, you're clinging on it for dear life. And the winds and the waves and the storms of life are always there. And your battles and your struggles and your depression and your anxiety and your fears and your worries, they're always there. And you're on your boat of security, your boat of comfort, and nothing seems to change. You're holding on to certain habits, laziness, abilities, addictions, sin, behaviors, mindsets. You're holding on. And you're expecting something to change in the storm, but it doesn't change, and you're holding on. And it doesn't stop. Verse 26 says that when the disciples were in this moment, they saw Jesus walking in the water, and they were feared. They had fear. And this is the interesting thing to me, that they were terrified and fear, not because so much of the winds and the waves. They were terrified to see Jesus walking on water. The thing that made them so fearful was to see Jesus. And I want you to see this in your spirit today. That whatever your comfort zone is, whatever your security is, the thing that is going to make you more terrified than the winds and the waves is saying, Jesus, I have something else for you. The thing that's going to create fear in you is the possibility of something extraordinary. Something that you have never seen. No one had ever seen someone walking on water. No one. No one. In In your family, no one has ever seen someone that doesn't drink. In your family, no one has ever seen someone that doesn't struggle with a porn addiction. In your family and your friends, no one has ever seen someone that is pure and that is clean and doesn't need any substance, any alcohol, nothing to satisfy, bring joy. Like, no one has ever seen. And God is saying, hey, I have something out of this world for you. I have something extraordinary for you. And that can bring so much fear because we have never seen it before. We have never seen no one be generous like we're generous. With finances, with time, with love, with affirmation. And when God says, hey, come and do some of these things, it can bring fear. It can terrify us to see God saying, hey, I have something out of this world for you. I just find it fascinating that when they saw Jesus, they were terrified. You would think that when you see Jesus, it brings you peace. You would think that when you see Jesus, like, oh, thank God, God is here. But what if God says, hey, stop sinning and come and follow me? What if God says, hey, my mercy and grace is more than enough for you? Stop doing that. Come on, God has better for you, and it requires you to step outside of your comforts. And I love that Jesus recognizes the fear, and he encourages them, and he says, hey, don't be afraid. Take courage. I am here. Hey, don't be afraid. Whatever it is that God is calling you to step outside of your comfort zone, God's saying to you, don't be afraid. Take courage. I am here. Come on, can you remind yourself that God is with you? God's not in a building. God's not in this church, that church, this other church denomination. Like, God is with you. God is with you, and you can take courage and cast that fear out and step into the best that God has for you. Verse 28 says that when all of this happened, Peter called to him. Peter said, Jesus, if it's really you, tell me to come to you, walking on the water. Yes, come, Jesus said. So Peter went and walked on the water. And I love Peter because there was 12 disciples in that boat. And only one said, hey, I want to step outside of my comfort zone. Out of 12 people that were experiencing the exact same thing, only one was courageous enough to say, I'm going to step outside. Like, he's walking on water. I want to walk on water. Like, he's experienced something extraordinary. I want to experience that extraordinary. If God can do that, like, I want to experience that. Come on, can I encourage you today for something to rise up on the inside of you and say, man, I want that extraordinary. I want that miraculous. I want the things that are not from this world. I want them in my life. Come on, can I encourage you in this day and age as there's so much comparison happening, for you to get some godly comparison and say, I want that. All of you are here, I'm going for that. In this day and age that everyone wants to be unique, right, and their voice to stand out, can I encourage you to say, hey God, I want to stand out. I want to do what only you can do. Come on. The 12 disciples were there, and the 11 were like, what is this guy doing? What is he doing? Like, going to church, seeking God, serving, like saying no to some parties and things and environments, and for like, what? What? And they just stand behind in their comfort zone, in their little boat, in the middle of the winds and the waves. And Peter, the winds and the waves didn't stop. The winds and the waves were still there. Peter walked on the winds and the waves. Like, he walked in the storm. Come on, there's going to be some storms that you're going to still face, but you're going to face them in an extraordinary way. In an extraordinary way. Some of your storms and struggles are going to fade away. Some they're going to stay. But it doesn't matter what comes your way as you step outside of your comfort zone. God is going to be with you, and you're going to be walking on water. Come on, there's some things that God's calling you today to do. And I'm going to ask Corey if you can come as we close in prayer. Come on, there's some things that God's going to ask you to give up, to do, to move. Can you just dare to believe God and just see what would happen? In history, there's only 2 people that have ever walked on water. 2 people. It could have been 13. There's only 2. And it doesn't matter if he had faith, he doubted and he got afraid and scared when went the way he drowned. He still made history. He still did what no one else could do. Come on, God has a beautiful plan, purpose, vision for your life. It is unique, it is beautiful, it's special. In your family, the thing that matters the most, in your friendships and the people that you love, you have a calling and a purpose. And what better purpose to be an example to the people that we love and care for? To stand out and say, hey, that's a comfort zone. Everyone's there. There's another way. And that you could lead by example and make history in your family. To make history in your family tree. That say, all my family struggled with this, but then Sergio 2.0 came and broke everything. And it was meant to go this way. And God just turned it into something else. Not only the bad things, but there's some even good things, comfortable, good things in your life. Sleeping's not bad, but maybe you're sleeping way too much. And it's keeping you from experiencing more. But money's not bad, but spending money that you don't have on credit, that's bad. Come on, there's a lot of things that they're not bad. Is drinking bad? You can have an argument theologically. It says don't get drunk. Well, but you're always drunk. You don't only do one. You can have debates about everything, but can I encourage you to just step out? Be an example to your kids, your family, to people that are watching you, looking at you. Say there's a different way of life. It's a different way of life. And as you walk on the water, knowing or not knowing, it's going to be an example for the generations to come. Peter left this situation not encouraged. He was rebuked. At the end of this story, Jesus said, why did you doubt me? You had little faith. So at the end of this situation that just happened, Peter was like, man, I suck. But man, he's on the books right now, and this is one of the most preached stories throughout mankind. So even though whatever you go through, even though people might say things, you might feel bad, whatever you go through, you don't know the impact that your life is going to have on someone else's life. Come on, let's live our lives intentionally, and let's see what God would do in our lives. Come on, can we all stand this morning as we close? Hey, you're awesome. You're great. I love you so much. But I believe there's more to you than what you see in you. There's more to you. And that's the beauty that God comes and he challenges us and pushes us and unravels the more that's on the inside of you and of me. Come on, can we close our eyes this morning? When Jesus comes, he untaps that hidden potential. He untaps your true identity. And this morning as we're gathered here, just want to make an invitation. If you've never made that invitation for Jesus to come into your life, if you've never said, Jesus, I need you in my life, or maybe you have and you just backed away, got distracted, or whatever the case may be, but today you're like, I need to step outside of my comfort zone. And the biggest decision that I can do intentionally for good is to say, Jesus, you guide me, you lead me, come and save me. So everyone with their eyes closed, no one's looking, just a moment between you and God. But if that's you and you're ready to say yes to Jesus, can you just raise your hand right there where you're at? Just you and God. Come on, can we all pray together? Dear Jesus, this morning, I pray that you would come into my life. Come into my life and save me. Come into my life and lead me. I pray, God, that you would come and forgive my sins as far as east is from the west. That you would wash me white as snow. And today I receive your love, your grace, and your mercies that are brand new every day. And in Jesus' name, come on, can we all say amen and amen. Come on, before we head out and live our lives intentionally with faith, with courage, stepping outside of our comfort zone, I want to read this verse to you. It's Isaiah 4. It says, God gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youth will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They would walk and not faint. Come on, as you trust in God this week, He will give you new strength to do all the things that you need to do as you step outside of your comfort zone. Amen. Hey, we love you so much. We're so glad that you made it to church today. Don't run like there's a fire on this building. You can hang out here in our lobby. There's coffee and stuff. Meet someone you don't know. And we love you all. Have an incredible Sunday.